Hey all, welcome back. This is Dino the Ops Guy, and we are here at Production Management in Practice, or Stardew Production Management 101. It is a university kind of course on production management, operations management if you're familiar, but specifically with production. And if I was going to teach this in the university, I would teach it not from a textbook, but from an application. So basically get you into a factory so you can see what factories look like and what goes on and what decisions have to be made and who has to make those decisions. And that's what we're doing. Only this time it's not a real factory, it's a virtual real factory. So it's Stardew Valley. We are using Stardew Valley as sort of the factory. So this is kind of a factory tour of Stardew Valley. But therein we are going to sort of look at what goes on, what decisions have to be made, and what can you learn on the level of production management to help you out. And last episode, this is episode 36. There's a previous 35 episodes. If you have or have not seen them, you're welcome to see them. You don't have to see them in order. You can see whichever one you want. But in the last episode, 35, we did have a quiz, and I wanted to start with basically a recap or an understanding or a marking, if you will, of the quiz. There's no marks. Everyone's passing. Don't worry. Everyone's passing. So if we'll just get to the questions then. Pop quiz number 2 from episode 35. Choose which of the following is most true regarding ABC inventory. Either fiber is an A item because it gets so much of it that even sometimes that we get so much of it, and even sometimes we end up using it. B, we could say that fiber is a B item because it is seasonal, and thus we can store it on the farm where it is acquired and used. Or C, fiber is a C item because at such a cheap value, so 1G per unit, it has so little value, we don't care. And that automatically makes it a C item. So you probably have an opinion on this. I will get to the solution and the discussion. The discussion is more important than the solution. ABC, fiber is an A item because we get so much of it. This shows that we pick it up and we put it down, and we pick it up and we put it down. And the reason for ABC, really, there's two parts of ABC. One is the stuff that you pick up and put down all the time. Find a good place to pick it up and put it down so it's not going to waste a lot of time. And the second thing is, let's use categories, because if we get to every single item, we are going to be dizzy. So from a category standpoint, we would put fiber as a resource and say, you know what? All these resources, whether it's stone or wood or fiber or quartz, we pick them up and we put them down so many times. Let's have a special chest, an A chest, right in the middle, easy to use, and that's going to be our A inventory chest. And you'll notice in the game, and you'll notice in real life, if you watch people, they will tend to go to the A chest or to the A part of inventory, whatever, and just look at it and say, how am I doing? What's going on? It almost becomes a bit of a descriptive metric to say, are things okay? Because I can tell that just by the inventory. And you're saying, Dino, that's not a production thing. That's an inventory thing. No, production people will go into inventory and look at it and say, how are we doing? Do we have too much? Do we have too little? What's going on? Are we going to run out? Is this going to be an issue? So from that level, as much as ABC sounds like a warehouse type decision, production's big and involved in that. If there's a disagreement between production and warehouse, you should address that. Maybe, sort of move a department or expand a department, whatever, so that it's easy for both production and warehouse to have a situation where things that we need and we pick up all the time have a single place, the A place. Well, what other arguments are there? Fiber is a B item because it is seasonal. First off, it's not seasonal would mean that it follows a pattern. It doesn't even have to be a month pattern or a year pattern. But you could say, well, Dino, we don't have any fiber in winter because it's winter. And the argument is, well, you actually have fiber in the winter. even if not on the farm, you're going to find it in the mines and whatever. So that's not true. But let's forget the calendar, and let's look at, is there a pattern to fiber? And the answer really is no. We just get it all the time everywhere. So given that there's no pattern, we would not call it a B item. And you could argue this is sort of crossing into well, let's do the C first. The item is a C item because it's so cheap. Cheap does not have anything to do with it. If you pick it up, just because it's cheap doesn't mean you don't have to do anything with it. So you could argue that, well, we're just going to pick it up and put it in the garbage anyway. Oddly enough, garbage tends to be a B item because it tends to follow a pattern. You say, Dino, there's garbage everywhere. Well, there's different garbage everywhere, but if you look at a machine, let's say that does wrapping with a tape machine or something like that, like adhesive tape. Every 20, 30, 50 packages, whatever, there's an end, the roll of the tape that is done. That has to go someplace, and that is seasonal from the standpoint that we know when that's going to happen is very regular. It's a pattern. There's a signature to how we use that. So from that standpoint, even if things are really, really cheap and we want to throw them out, it doesn't mean we get around this notion of ABC. It just means that we now have essentially a different type of B, which is a G, I guess, for garbage. And it's well worth warehouse's time or production management's time to sort of go around and say, where are we getting a buildup of garbage, and can we identify the pattern for that garbage so that we can either have a garbage can in the right spot, have it cleaned frequently or dumped frequently. All of that really lends itself to a category of B, that we understand the pattern, and we are going to have a specific, not a general place for it, and manage that on an ABC level. So the answer is fiber is an A item just because it's used so frequently, and that becomes the decision. If it's used frequently, we just want to put it in a place where it's easy to understand, where people can see it, where people can count it, where people can pick it up. It's just that high a volume item, and it just becomes an A. Hopefully that's helpful. The second question, there was a true-false question. Is it true or false that saying hi to everyone is just being nice and has no real value? So this comes up a fair bit, more along the line of when we talk about human resources. If you're in school, university, some sort of business school, they will typically say organizational behavior and organizational essentially interactions are the purview of human resources, and this is not really true. Certainly, human resources are responsible for some of that. I find in practice, human resources are responsible for categories of workers. So if you have a category of worker, human resources can understand what the pay level is, what the responsibilities are. Sometimes they'll have stored SOPs. They'll have typically information for each category of people, and on that level, they will have a full understanding of everyone on a categorical basis. And on some individuals, if they get out of line or if they have exceptional skills or whatever. But if you are looking for who deals with, what department deals with every single person all the time, it's production. It's basically anyone who walks into the production environment, whether they're warehouse or sanitation or sweeper or production supervisor, whomever, the production people have to deal with them. So it becomes not, we're just going to do this because we're going to be nice. Having that goodwill ahead of time, especially if there's no reporting relationship, is beneficial and should be cultivated. And this is kind of why, it is a bit of a stretch to say Dino's saying hi to everyone and Stardew Valley and this on a production level, but it's really illustrative. It really comes down to, that's how you got to run production. You have to sort of be the face and go and say hi to the people and ask them how they're doing. Not in a fake or artificial way. They'll read through that. But so that when it does come to an interaction that requires a lot of attention or whatever the case, there is some goodwill that's already developed. So hopefully that helps. Those were the two questions from the quiz, and we will get right to Av. Av is our man on the floor, and Av knows what's going on. So we have some things for Av to do today. Harvest the crops, pet the chickens, I never understood this pet the chickens thing, but that's really what's going on in Stardew Valley. So somehow address the attention of the chickens, process the eggs, convert the bait to deluxe bait, because now that we have a surplus of moss, we are in the moss age. We can basically use a better bait. So we should be converting our regular bait to moss. In some cases, you have to do it in multiples of 5. So in some cases, what we'll do is just leave it in the chest for the crab pots and then use it up that way. If we use the deluxe bait, it does actually upgrade everything we're getting from a base level to a silver level. I don't know that that's something that I really care about or chase, whatever. So if we just use all of our regular bait in the crab pots, I'm going to be happy with that. So we have the pickaxe. It's been upgraded. We couldn't get it yesterday because the green rain kept us from getting it. So get it now, and we need stones. So fertilizer for the new fertilizer we have for trees requires stones and fiber. So we need stones, and then just in general we need stones because we're going to be doing a lot of construction going forward. So Av as well, if you have some free time, forge, knock yourself out. So I am going to turn it over to our very, very capable Av at R. Okay, thanks, Dino. We are back, and it's going to be a beautiful day, and the spirits feel kind of neutral. So we're just going to do what we can do here. We got, Jody sent us some fertilizer. That's nice of her. We don't really use basic fertilizer that much, but it's still nice of her. We can pick the honey. So we were waiting for the honey for so that those poppies were full grown, because once the poppies are full grown, they become poppy honey, and it's worth 380 instead of just 100. Well worth the wait. So we're happy for that, and we tried not to block up the poppies just so we could see when they were growing. But the thing is, we knew that because we can see other poppies growing in the field that were planted the same day. So we're saying hi to the chickens, hi to the hens, beautiful. And we're going to load up some more of the straw just for the next, or hay or whatever, next time it rains or whatever the case. And we have a couple of full-size eggs. We need those for bundles, so we're going to keep them aside. We need poppies for bundles too, so that's good. We got poppies. We don't want to pick the ones near the honey, because if we do, they stop being poppy honey. They just become regular honey, and that loses a lot of value. So we're going to keep them as they are. We should probably fill in. I was hoping to have gold at this point so we could fill that radish hole in with a sprinkler, but no such luck. We're not there yet. We will pick up our pickaxe, and a miracle of miracles, if we could end up down to a gold level and have enough gold to smelt to get a gold bar so that we could make sprinkler, quality sprinkler, that would be great, but I'm not holding my breath for that one. So I think we're just going to have to bite the bullet and plant those. We'll probably plant with flowers. So okay, we're carrying on. We do have, I kept that the oak syrup, or whatever they would call it, oak sap or whatever. We have to put that back. So we are also converting all of our bait. We now have only quality bait or deluxe bait in our fishing tackle, our fishing setup. We just put oak resin or whatever, and we'll just finish watering the farm. So typically I'm finding the watering takes till about 10 o'clock. We did a little more faffing around this morning, so it's going to take a little longer, but that's a lot. And this is where I would love to get into a few more sprinklers. So that would be nice to take care of at least some of the watering. The nice thing about the sprinklers too is you can sort of organize the plant so that the ones that are going to be around the sprinkler can use the sprinkler the most. So it's any sort of variability we can sort of work into on manual watering, and otherwise it's all sprinkler done. So, and we got a rusty spur and we got brown covers. Does that mean I have to retire my newly minted fishing vest? I think I might have to. It looks like we got some new apparel. So doing some foraging here. We're getting some sweet pea. We still need grapes and spiceberry to make our blend our seeds. So let's get up to, oh, there's some more sweet pea. Let's get up. We're going to dump our eggs. That's going to be up in top left. Yeah. So not an artisan bundle. And that would be a mistake to put that honey in there because it's worth so much more than a regular honey. And honey is actually fairly expensive in that bundle as well. So there's probably alternatives we could have to that honey. We also want to put our poppy. I did not notice that it changed color when we put it in there. Now it's kind of orange instead of the red. Whatever the case, it's not ours anymore. Let's see who wants. Oh, Pam wants sunfish so she can barbecue. Don't know that we're going to get to the sunfish today, but it's nice to have that option. We are going to sell some of our stuff. See that 380 honey? That was enough for us to get a backpack. That's good. Boy, do we need this backpack, let me tell you. We've been dropping stuff on the ground. So this is going to be a lot better. Maybe it's a bit impulsive to buy it, but I don't think we wasted any thought or time or money on doing that. I think it's the right thing to do. So I'm going to stand by that one. We do want to get down to Clint's so we can get our pickaxe, and we might as well bring some of our items, our geodes that we can open up. So that sort of kill two birds with one stone kind of deal, if we can make that work. So see how Clint's doing, and it'll be really nice to get that pickaxe. I mean, it's during the rain day, there was a couple. Thank you, pickaxe. The rain day, there was a couple times where I was walking by and it just kept tripping on the same rock. That if I could just use a pickaxe, we don't have one, to clear the rock, that would have been better. So that's okay. Well, we ran out of money. What are we gonna do, right? So we don't have. You need 25 to open a geode. So we don't have the 25. Maybe we'll be able to get down to the beach and make some more money. I don't. We'll see what happens. So Clint's close at 4. So it doesn't seem like it's a problem, but by the time we get down to the beach, it'll probably be a problem. So let's see what we have as far as forage items. Yay, yay, a couple clams. Yeah, getting some clams. But, the coral. I'm a bit disappointed. I thought the stuff on the beach accumulated till Sunday, but there were some things that we saw on Monday that I don't see anymore. This is a Monday. Okay, so maybe I got that all wrong. Maybe it does accumulate till Sunday and then just disappear. So we do have enough money to open geodes, but we don't have enough time to get there. That's kind of where I thought things were going. We can get. We should have probably gotten Gus's money before. It's still 75 would have only been 3 geodes, but still more than nothing. So we'll make our way up and mine a bit. It's not the best day for mining, given that it's a neutral luck, but we certainly need the stones either way. So if we can mine and sort of manage between, if we're doing well, get some floors. If we're not doing well, get some stones. We got a grape. If I could find a spiceberry, that would make the complete set for the summer seeds. But let's not focus too much. I do want to get into the mine. So let's get into the mine. We will keep the bombs on hand. Nothing but destruction. Let's get in there and just sort of chip away. I'm also a bit concerned I didn't bring any food with me. So I still have a lot of energy, but that could be problematic. It probably will influence our decision, but let's see how far we can get just beating up on bone guys. On skeletons. Then we got plenty of opportunities to take the ladder that time. And I do like the idea of getting iron, even though gold would be a lot better. But for now, I like the idea of getting iron. I probably could have used my sword instead of my pickaxe for that one, my insect head. And I would have used less energy. So, you gotta be a bit energy efficient. We got 2 beasties and we killed them both. Still don't see the ladder, though. I was kind of hoping that one of them would go. There's a ladder. One of them would give us a ladder. And right now I'm being a bit flippant from the standpoint, if I get hit by something, it doesn't really bother me too much. Once we get to floor 80, that's going to change. It becomes less about the energy and more about the health. So I think this is the last bastion of just letting things come up to me and hit me before it really becomes a problem. We are on 75. I think that's enough given that we don't have a lot of food. Let's take our winnings here and make back to the farm so that we can do some stuff on the farm. Use our time in that sort of manner. It's nice having the big backpack, I tell you, just so that we can clear all this stuff up. It still becomes a bit tight later on. The programmers here at Stardew Valley do a good job of making everything important, then not important, then important again. So space in our inventory will be important again, just the way it is. So getting some stones, clearing up some walkway so that it's easier to get around. I can see the end of our getting stones because we're running out of energy. Now we could stop in the spa. That's going to take way too long. Let's just get back. I am 99% sure we still have some spring onions, so we can chomp on those and take care of that. As well, it's nice to get back and just organize our inventory because it's been a while since we've had some of those items that we had up in the mines. We do not have. Yeah, it's clear we don't have spiceberry. Otherwise, that would be a nice close for that. We do want to clear out. There we go. Oh, that feels better. I'm feeling full already. Spring onions, chomp, 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 chomp. We will refill our cauliflower. We will refill our eggies. And we will say goodnight, tuck the ladies in. And now we just want to find some stones. And the big stuff is good because it's no longer in the way. Those two big stones tend to sort of get in the way of planning that path. So it's nice to have them not so much there anymore. But as well, there's a pretty good, I think it's 20 stones we get out of one of those things. Let's take a see. I know the ones in the mine are only 10. So yeah, 13. Okay, so it's maybe just a dozen for those big ones. I would have thought it'd be more. But there you go. Still better than a kick in the teeth. So we're going to do that. And we're going to use those stones to make some fertilizer. That's what we're going to do. The fertilizer for the trees. And we definitely want to get certainly the trees that we're going to tap to be full size as soon as possible. And we'd like, if possible, our mahogany trees to go full so we can get more wood from them. They grow faster and they grow wood. Like I said, it's just worth filling these in with fruit, with flower stuff. So there's no perennial flower stuff. None of it's going to regrowth. So it's nice to understand that at some point it's we don't have to water that part anymore. So we get some flexibility as far as how we want to approach it. And that's the mossy seed that we dropped. So this seems out of place. I think that should have been where we planted. Okay, that was dumb. We just took up one of the mahogany seeds after fertilizing it. So okay, that we could have planned that a bit better. But it is late at night. It's after midnight. It's after 1. We're within the last hour before we get caught and have to go to bed. But gonna keep our wits about ourselves, and off we go into bed. I think just one last chance if we got time for putting a couple things in the shipper. But bed is calling, let me tell you. Bed is definitely calling, and there we go. We made it even before the 2 o'clock. I guess we have to make it before the 2 o'clock. So fair bit of return. Let's see what tomorrow's going to be like, or the next day for the weather, because it's always one day ahead. And the weather says it's going to be clear and sunny all day. And then the fortune, it looks like we have a new viewer. That's me. Spirit's going to be very happy. That is good to know. It's going to be back to you, Dino. Okay, thanks, Av. Good call in the backpack. I know you've been struggling with that. Yeah, I can't see a problem with that. That's probably overdue, even though we probably didn't have the money to invest in it. But you found that you had the money. It was worth it. So, okay, let's carry into our performance here. The crops were harvested, the crops, and watered. We got all of the hens and the eggs taken care of. We converted the bait, all good. We picked up the pickaxe. We collected stones and fertilized the trees. So a clean sweep, did very, very well. I do want to do a little talk afterwards, and this has nothing to do with what Av's doing. It's more of strategic level type stuff. Just a bit of a comparison that I was thinking of as far as passive income. I mean, we have things like bee houses and tappers and mushroom logs now, and preserves jars and crab pots and recycling machines, and there should be some way to compare them. And it's not just how much money they generate, because really, if we think that our time in the day is still a bottleneck, then we have to consider how we interact with them. So in this case, let's say touches, and I kind of went along the line of, if I'm filling cauliflower into the preserves jar, I'm going to go to a chest and pull out a cauliflower. That's one touch. I'm going to take that cauliflower and put it in the preserves. That's two. And then at the end, I'm going to pull that cauliflower out. So that's three, as opposed to honey, where I just go and I pull it out. That's one. So I've set up sort of a bit of a spreadsheet. Start with the bee house. We could have fairy rose honey, which has no input. We start with nothing and we get 680 in return. Poppy honey, we start with nothing and get 380 in return. Summer spangle, we start with nothing and get 280 in return, etc., etc. And if we go down and compare that preserves jar, for cauliflower, if we put in a regular cauliflower, we're given our tiller advantage now, it's worth 192. We're going to get 400 out. So that lift is going to be 208. And then in some cases, we don't know what we're going to get out. So for example, crab pots. There's a chance we could get crayfish. There's a chance we could get snail. There's a chance we could get periwinkle. There's a chance we could get trash, and this trash could be trash, or it could be driftwood, or it could be other things. So we could sort of expand that to say, well, if it's crayfish, it's going to be 93 for us. If it's snail, it's going to be 81. If it's periwinkle, it's only going to be worth 20. But we have the rough odds to say 21% of the time it's crayfish, 20% of the time it's snail. So with all that, after spending 5 on bait in each case, the lift is going to be a weighted average of 96, just a little over 96. And then the same thing with the recycling machine. If we're putting in trash, it could be stone or coal, or iron ore. If we're putting in driftwood, it could be wood or coal, etc., etc. So you can see sort of how this is all expanding out. And in some cases, we touch them one time. In some cases, we touch them 3 times. And if we look at how many times how much return we're getting per touch, the winner is going to be bee houses in this case. So we only touch the honey once, like the bee house once. We don't load it with anything. We don't look in a chest to get anything for it. So it's just straight one touch, and for that one touch we get 680 for fairy rose honey, 380 for poppy honey. We didn't do the summer, but let's say next summer it's going to be summer spangle, 280, or just wild honey is 100. That's good turn. That's good return. For the tapper, we don't have to put anything in it. It just does its own thing. And we've been using these as resources. So, for example, our maple syrup has been used to make the bee houses. But even after that's expired, the maple is going to give us 200, and we only have to touch it once. So I'm not looking at how long it's stored. That's going to more be a function of how many we want. So if we want more because it's stored too long, let's say for tapper, we'll just put up more tappers. So that's kind of the way things go. Mushroom logs. We could get a purple mushroom, a red mushroom, and common mushroom. And it's actually much more complicated than that based on what trees are around. But that's sort of the simplified version. And the more trees around, the more mushrooms we could potentially get rather than just one. So even with the base one mushroom, nothing fancy, we're still getting 120 G per touch. So those 3, the bee house, tapper, and mushroom log, really show you where we're going to get a lot of this passive potential income. We get into preserves jars. That's sort of the next level. But we don't want to, if we get a cauliflower iridium level, it doesn't really return much. A melon iridium level returns 0. So it's 550 for the melon. Or if you want to put it into a jar, it's 550 for the jar. So the lift is 0. Crab pots are kind of a waste. I don't mean a waste because, I mean, if there's money there, pick it up off the ground. But in any event, if we're looking, what needs the most attention, honey. If you see honey ready to go, pick it. If you see the trees, the tappers ready to go, pick it. If you see crab pots and recycling and you're in a hurry, let it go. So this really just is another, on the production management side, a way to compare, and not just compare dollars to dollars, because that's always important, but also, given the bottleneck that we have is time during the day, and we can break that time during the day down to, there's only so many touches we can do. Even if they're conveniently placed, it still takes time to set something up as far as passive income and recoup it. So in that sense, we wanted to measure what's the best return for our time during the day and what we can just sort of let go until we got nothing better. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully you're getting something out of both the factory tour and some of this after explanation. If you have any comments, happy to read them. Let us know how we can make it better, more entertaining, more educational, in whatever the case. That notwithstanding, this is Dino the Ops Guy signing off.